Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new, subscribe, drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel because it's better than what is on the pitch at the minute. So get involved in the comment section down below, your thoughts on our game versus Newcastle United. I have just got back from a 8-hour round trip in total. The best part of my day were the nachos and the beer in the Cuban bar in Newcastle. To be fair, Newcastle, I loved it. I absolutely loved the stadium. I thought it was brilliant. I thought Newcastle, the town, the city, whatever it is, it was brilliant. I had a real good day up until the kick-off for the football match. I'm fuming, because that performance today was absolutely diabolical. It was that bad watching it. You're up in the gods. You've got a massive view of what is going on in that football pitch. And today, did we play with a midfield? Because I tell you what, it was literally non-existent in the middle of that pitch. That midfield three was just, there was nothing there. We gave the ball away 136 times today against Newcastle United, who, let's be honest, they were average as well. There was nothing in the game. If I was looking at the game as a whole, I'd say a draw would have been a fair result, to be fair. But I mean, we do a match reaction, a predicted lineup. We go through all what we expect from Villa, and have we got to start doing predicted lineups with talking about commitment, desire, passion, belief, intensity? Is that what we've got to start to talk about? Because there was none of that on that football pitch today. It was an absolute joke. It looked like them players had never played a game together. We'd had a 2-week mini pre-season, which we thought we were going to come back. We were going to smash these next 5 fixtures. We thought we were going to be absolutely brilliant, climbing the table. And we look even worse. And today, I went to Southampton away. And to me, today, there was no different from that performance from Southampton away to what I saw today. And I don't know what it is. Do the players get that comfortable that they just don't listen to the manager or what? I've no idea, because we were crap, absolutely crap. We couldn't pass the ball to each other. Ollie Watkins' hold-up play was atrocious. John McGinn, I thought he was lucky to be on the pitch. If he'd have took that player out when he swiped him, he'd have had a red. I thought McGinn was poor today. Dougie Louise, non-existent for me. Absolutely non-existent. He may as well not been on the pitch, because I can't tell you what he does. He runs around chasing shadows. I thought Luke Dean's okay. I thought Mings had a decent game. He bailed us out a few times. So if there's any criticism in the comment section on Tyrone Mings today, I think that's just a complete joke. I thought Chambers come in, did okay, gave away the free kick. Buendia was okay. Coutinho showed bits in the second half. I thought he was really good. He pushed us in the second half. But other than that, absolutely crap all over. And it's a performance that Steven Gerrard, he needs to get into them. And there needs to be massive, massive changes. Sanson needs to come in. Ings needs to come in. I don't know even who else we can bring in. But other than that, absolutely fuming, because we were just atrocious. Justin, welcome.
Welcome, mate. I feel really bad for you. You people like yourself and the hordes that go up and down the country go to these away games, and it's mind-numbing. It's soul destroying to go and put the effort in and do that travelling. Especially, it's been a horrible day today. It's rained all day. Like you say, it's a massive long trip for us, like from this neck of the woods, like an 8-hour round trip, and to be rewarded for that effort and spending all that money with a performance like that is criminal. It's criminal. It's beyond a poor performance. For me, that was a very, very concerning performance, and that's the worry now, that we've come back after this break and we put in a ropey performance against Leeds and got away with a 3-3 in the end, but playing for 20 minutes, as we said the other day. Apart from that, we were pretty crap for the rest of the game. And then today, where do you start to try and pull that game apart? Because, like you say, it was devoid of everything. The most basic of things that a football fan asks for of a team is passion, pride, desire, commitment, that they put everything into that 90 minutes. Now, if we'd have got battered 3-0 and Newcastle played out of their skin today, we'd have been coming on now going, oh, that's really disappointing. You know, we've lost to Newcastle, but God, weren't they good? Wasn't St. Maxim good? What a great goal that was. And we've lost to a crappy deflected free kick without barely laying a glove on them. And that's unforgivable for me. I can forgive most things in a football pitch, but for not having the desire to try and win a game of football is unforgivable. And that's what they've done today. They've gone out there and they haven't put a shift in. Now, none of us will know why that is and why that's happened, but it's been coming. You know, we've won 1 in 7 now, and that's a worrying statistic. We've lost 2 more games than Newcastle this season. That's a worrying statistic. But we put all those things aside because of the managerial change, a lot of upheaval in the summer. But overall, it's been a really, really disappointing season. And unfortunately, today is just topped off what's been a disappointing run of results, hasn't it?
To me, and I don't really want to be too negative, but there's a fundamental problem with certain players in this team. And they threw Dino under the bus at times. And we went on a bad run and whatever. But that type of performance today mirrored ones that we were seeing under Dino. Yeah. And I don't understand how we can go from like looking pretty good for 5 or 6 games under Gerrard to slowly morphing and drifting into what we've got now. That is a massive, massive worry for me. It's like we get complacent. It's because you know Gerrard's not sending them out to play like that, but they revert back to type, and it's a problem. I got a few pelters in the comments for being a little bit too negative against Leeds, but there was areas in that game that worried and bothered me. And today, it's got even worse because the performance has just been horrendously, shockingly bad.
Yeah.
And it's just not good enough. You know.
Look, we have, since we started this podcast, we've been very, very positive. Sometimes you could argue we're overly positive. I am. I'm guilty of that because all I want to do is see Villa do well, and my mindset is that if I believe we're going to win, then I hope we're going to win, and if we don't win, I'll have to deal with the consequences. Now you feel after a loss, but I like to feel happy and I like to feel confident before a game rather than thinking, oh, we're going to lose today, we're going to get better today. So that's how we are. But at times, we have to be brutally honest, and you got to say what you see in front of you. And there's not one Villa fan in this country tonight that can find any positives out of that game. I think Mings and Chambers did okay. You know, I think they did all right. I mean, I don't think Newcastle were a huge threat all game, particularly. St. Maxim was very quiet. Chris Wood was pretty poor. Their midfield didn't do a lot. You know, they've won from a deflected free kick, and barring Ollie Watkins' big toe, we'd be talking about a 1-1 now, wouldn't we? And it probably would have been probably a fair result, 1-1. They were better first half. We were terrible. We were marginally better second half, and they were probably just as bad as they was in the first half. It would have been a really crappy 1-1. Let's just forget about that one and move on. The fact we've lost the game has made things, has intensified our feelings of how bad we feel about that result. And you can't get away from it. It was a horrific result. It was, like I said, a concerning result. And the manager, you know, that was as blunt as he's been after any game tonight. And at the end, he said there will be changes. And I'm not surprised because, like you say, there are players there that are just coasting. You know, I still believe this is a good squad. I still believe Steven Gerrard is a good manager. But we've got too many players that are going through the motions. And yeah, I think
you are right. We have got a good we have got a good squad, because we saw that when we were blockbuster against Leeds for that 20 minutes. You know, we were blowing them out. We were blowing them off the park, basically. But where does that disappear? Which is the problem. Where's that gone today? We never looked like really scoring from open play, and that's concerning. And he probably should have added something in midfield today anyway, because, I mean, we were saying Sanson probably should have started, but obviously Wendyra's back. But no, we've got to change it now.
Yeah, he's guilty of it. If anything, Steven Gerrard is guilty of waiting too long to change the team. I think I get why managers don't rush to change teams, because they like to give the players that they trust most, I suppose. That's why they're in the first 11, a chance to turn things around. And in the case of, you know, we're not picking on individual players, but we have to talk about the players that played today. In the likes of Ollie Watkins, who hasn't been very good lately, Douglas Luiz, who hasn't been great lately. If either of them had been left out at the start of today's game, no one would have been surprised, would they? Would have gone, okay, you know, he's trying Danny Ings now, like we spoke about before that we came back after this break. We expect them to chop and change. The 11 get the shirt, and if you don't perform, somebody else takes the shirt on. So if anything, I think Steven Gerrard is guilty of allowing them one extra game too many to try and turn their form around. I was a little bit surprised he didn't change it at half time. You know, again, I get, you know, managers always say, go and give me 10 minutes and show me you can turn it around. And we was a bit better. But I'd rather be proactive. I'd rather change it and say, it's not working, let's change it. And it's going to happen now. There's no question at all. Next Saturday against Watford, I can foresee 3 or 4 changes to that team. I just can. Matty Cash hasn't been up to it lately. He's the position he plays and what's asked of him by the manager in the formation that he plays is to get forward, create things, get balls into the box, and he's not doing that. Now, is he good enough? Yes, I think he is. Is he doing it at the moment? No. So you've got Ashley Young there, and while we've got him this season, he's a proven international. He's got pedigree. He's a great crosser of a ball. And could he do any worse at right back? No, he couldn't. You know, so he comes in for me. I think Sanson has more than deserved a little run in the team now, not just cameos. You know, the defensive midfield slot has been a bane of our lives for 2 years now. There's not a perfect answer within the squad. There just isn't. We haven't got one. Nakamba's the only one, and he's injured. So whoever plays there, he's going to have to fill in a gap like Luiz has had to do. And Luiz has had his chance, and he's not done it. So for me, the only one I can see is Chambers to come in there, because I think McGinn also needs to be left out as well. I don't think he's been good enough. So I'll change 2 of the midfield 3. You can't drop Jacob Ramsey because of the form he's shown previously. Again, another one that didn't really do very much today. But you can't drop everyone, can you? So I would leave Luiz and McGinn out, and I'll bring Sanson and play Chambers in the defensive midfield role. Courtney House drops in at centre half. And Ollie Watkins, it's time for him to sit on the bench, I'm afraid, and give Danny Ings a run, I think. And the 2 10s play, because, you know, that's you know, they're our probably 2 best players this season. So it's got to happen. It's just got to happen. And like we've said, that we're not going to finish in Europe. Definitely not going to do that now. We're not going to get relegated. So these are things that have got to be tried now. And Gerrard has got to stamp his authority all over that squad. And I think by the sound of his post-match press conference, that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, I hate coming on here moaning, because
it's not moaning though, mate. It's not. It's constructive criticism. We're not hanging anyone out to dry. We're not slacking. You know, don't go on Twitter. You know, some of the things I've read tonight is disgusting. They're off again. You know, the extremes. There's no need to go to the extremes. You can moan about a player without character assassinating him. It's so over the top. Whatever has happened and gone wrong today, you know, we can discuss it, and they'll discuss it all week, and they'll work on something, and then a few of them will lose the places next week, and we'll try again. But you know, to abuse them like they do, there's no need for it. It annoys the hell out of me.
No, I mean, the positives for today, which I took out of it, I met some really cool guys who watched the podcast, and they gave us some very kind words. The guy outside the ground afterwards, I couldn't catch his name, but, you know, he was singing your praises, Justin and Ryan. So it was really cool to to meet him, and the dude at the service station on the way home, he was really cool as well. So, it's been good talking to him, and yeah, it's just frustrating because
it is. I was going to say for you, it is because you're desperate to see us win away, and you've made that effort today.
Come on. The guy outside the ground after the game as well, he was like, "Why'd you come?"
I said someone to sort your ties out on the way up. No, it's not your fault. It's just
the record's crap. My record's
look.
crap.
It's going to change, mate. It's going to change definitely. I think me and Ryan need to come to an away game with you. We need to all three of us go to one, and we'll sort that out. But yeah, let's not be too down. It's very easy to be down because when you see a game like that, you can't think of, you don't know where the next goal's coming from. You don't know where the next good performance is coming from. You don't know where the next good 10 minutes is coming from when you see a performance like that. But it will happen. We will improve and things will get better. We've just got to believe in the process. Steven Gerrard's still in reasonable infancy in his reign. 13, 14 games is it now? Something like that. I've lost track. It's nothing, is it? And things aren't great. And there might be a little bit of complacency slipped in. There might be one or two of them that are looking over their shoulders, thinking that they're going to move on in the summer, whether pushed or whether through their own, whether they want to go. So yeah, these are all things he's got to deal with, and when you haven't got anything to play for, this is where your professional pride has to come in, and that's what's missing today. The professional pride. The only one I could see on the pitch, and he didn't play well today, when the camera went on him 2 or 3 times, was McGinn. He was berating a few people. I think he was having a bit of a pop at Ollie for not holding the ball up very well. So there was a little bit there, but there wasn't enough of it today to, even a half decent performance today from us would have seen us probably win that game. And that's what's frustrating. And they'll have to live with that. I'm sure they'll all be stuffed tonight, with the performances they put in, but all they can do now is show us that they care by turning up next Saturday at Villa Park and putting on a show for us, because I think we deserve it. And the fans that trekked up there to Newcastle today, they certainly deserve a performance next week. Yeah,
so he's got to ring the changes there, because it's the complacency part of it as well. It's it's like we've spoke about the aspirations of trying to get into Europe and all this business. I mean, we are a million miles away from it at the minute, but we've got to start turning up, and I just watching that game today. I mean, whenever anybody's played football at whatever level, I mean, the old saying is, you got to win the second ball, right?
You got to win the first ball first, didn't you?
Yeah, but we second to that. So, let's try and win the second one. And I mean, Shelvey was just mopping up everything. Like, we've made Shelvey today look like bloody Perlo. And
that's the way he plays, isn't it? He just sits in the middle of the park and pings the ball around. When he plays like that, he's a good footballer, and he's a good footballer. But the problem we've got is, and we've had for a long time, is the midfield doesn't dominate the games enough. And I have to say, my biggest criticism of this formation, the way he played, and I said it before this game, I said it after the Leeds game, is this insistence on our midfielders, especially John McGinn. I took a still picture today, halfway through the first half, of McGinn playing practically right back, Cash halfway up the pitch. We lost the ball because he's trying a 40-yard crossfield pass, and because it breaks down, Cash is out of position. McGinn's having to cover then at right back, and they're on us. And because McGinn's at right back and Cash is playing right wing, you're a man light in the middle of the park, so you're getting overrun in the middle of the park as well. It's great if it works. If he pings a 40-yard ball in and Cash is bombing in on the right-hand side on an overlap and an overload, brilliant. It looks like but how many times does that happen? It doesn't. So we're leaving ourselves short in the middle.
What we're doing is we're kind of leaving ourselves with 2 at the back. Because what's happening
and puts more pressure on the centre halves, and they're getting slated for it.
Yeah, because what's happening is you've got little 2 at the back here, your centre backs. Then you've got your full-backs bombing on, and then you've got these little free midfield that are just above the centre-backs. And that happened twice today. Where
trying to cover all the spaces and they can't do it.
No.
And then when it breaks down, nobody's in the middle of the park to pick the ball up.
Yeah.
It worked in Scotland.
They were just like running straight towards us, and it was like a 2-on-2, 3, whatever. And I just
it worked in Scotland. It worked in Scotland for Gerrard because they were playing, with all due respect to the Scottish League, they were playing most weeks against much lesser opposition. So the quality of the opposition, they weren't getting picked off, and they'd probably score 3 or 4 a game anyway. So if they did get picked off once or twice, it didn't really matter. But in the Premier League, we're going to get picked off more and more and more. So I do wonder whether he does take another look at the way he's setting the team up, the formation and the style of play and the way everybody's working in these games, and maybe has a bit of a rethink about that. It can't just be down to personnel. Like I said, that none of them individually are poor footballers. We on their day, they're all very, very good footballers. That there's some of them that need a rest. Some of them need taking out. In my opinion, they need taking out now and sitting on the bench for a bit and letting someone else have a go. And that's why I would attack it next week.
Yeah, spot on. Right then, so we'll leave it there. We will be back for our match preview against Watford. Probably be out on Wednesday. Thanks for watching, but get involved in the comments and just let us know how you feel like we played. And if you are new, subscribe, help the channel grow, and up the Villa.
Up the Villa. Keep the faith.